This parasite on fresh produce causes explosive diarrhea that can drag on for weeks. Right now, it's spreading across more than 30 states in the US. Thousands already sick. And 2026 is shaping up to be the worst year we've seen. It's not a virus, not bacteria. It's a parasite that lives in your gut and feeds off you. And the strange part? You can't just wash it off your food. It's called Cyclospora. Let's build it up from zero. What is a parasite? An organism that lives inside another and steals from it to survive. That's the whole definition. Your instinct says worm. Wrong. This one's a single cell, smaller than a speck of dust. It travels as an oocyst, the parasite wrapped in a tough, layered capsule with a waxy outer coat. That waxy coat is what lets it resist chlorine and disinfectants, last for weeks out in the open, and survive a rinse untouched. So where does it come from? Only humans carry Cyclospora. No other known animal hosts. It lives in the human gut and exits in feces. So every infection traces back to one thing: human waste, ending up where it shouldn't. So how does human sewage get onto a salad? This surprises people in North America. We picture farms watered with clean tap water. They're not. Crops get irrigated with water from rivers, ponds, and shallow wells, sprayed straight onto the plants. If human sewage leaks into that water upstream, the parasite is now in the irrigation, sprayed across the crop. Which crops? The clings to the surface of the produce, and these are foods we eat raw, straight off the plant, with no step in between to kill it. So the danger lands on low-growing crops eaten raw: leafy greens, herbs, berries. One more quirk, and it explains a lot. Freshly shed, the isn't infectious yet. It first has to mature in warm, moist conditions for days to weeks. That's why Cyclospora is a summer disease, peaking May through August, and why you can't catch it directly from a sick person. We know how it gets on food. So the real question for this outbreak is, which food exactly? The honest answer? Investigators still can't say. Why not? Two reasons. First, incubation. From ingestion to the first symptoms is about a week, sometimes as little as 2 days, sometimes as long as 2 weeks. Can you name every salad, garnish, and smoothie you ate a week or two ago? Neither can patients. The trail's already cold. Second, the CDC says this isn't one outbreak. It's several separate clusters at once, maybe different foods. No single source, no single recall. And here's what makes it even harder. With bacteria like Salmonella, investigators can genetically fingerprint the bug and match a patient's strain to a specific food. That's how they isolate a cluster and find the source. For Cyclospora, that toolkit is newer and much harder to apply. You need the parasite from human stool to get any DNA at all, and contamination levels on food are often too low to genotype. So the cases are much harder to link, which is why these outbreaks so often go unsolved. But that leaves a bigger question. Some Cyclospora turns up every summer. So why is this year so far off the charts? By mid-July, Michigan alone had gone from its usual 50 cases a year to over 3,000, a 50-fold jump in weeks. Investigators are eyeing lettuce and salad greens, but nothing's confirmed. So how would you know you had it? The signature: watery, explosive diarrhea, plus cramps, bloating, nausea, and heavy fatigue. It doesn't come in one steady bout. It comes in waves. You feel better for a day or two, think you've beaten it, then it returns and repeats for weeks. Now the real question: why does it drag on for weeks? Your body clears most stomach bugs in days. There's a finish line. Cyclospora has none. Because it reproduces inside the cells lining your small intestine, each generation bursts out and infects fresh cells, so it continuously reinfects you from the inside. That's why it outlasts your immune system, and why you often need a specific drug to end it. So the red flag is simple: diarrhea that keeps relapsing for more than a few days. That's not ordinary food poisoning. Is it dangerous? For a healthy adult, no, not life-threatening. Miserable and draining, but you recover. The real danger is second order. Dehydration from the prolonged diarrhea. That's the real risk for young kids, older adults, and anyone immunocompromised. Prolonged diarrhea drains fast. Now the good news, but first, a catch. Most antibiotics won't touch it. They're built to attack bacteria, the cell wall, the machinery, and Cyclospora is a protozoan, a different kind of organism entirely. One antibiotic does work, trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, Bactrim or Septra. Here's why. Every cell needs folate to build DNA. Humans can't synthesize folate. We get it entirely from our diet. The parasite has to synthesize its own folate, using its own enzymes. This drug is really two agents, each blocking one of those enzymes. No folate, no new DNA. The parasite can't replicate. That's the whole trick. The drug shuts down a folate-making pathway the parasite depends on, and that humans don't even have. That's why it clears in about a week. But you need the right drug. A doctor has to prescribe it. So can't you just wash your produce? The oocyst is tough and tiny. Raspberries are covered in microscopic hairs, leafy greens in folds and ridges. It wedges into the crevices, and rinse water sheets right over the top, never reaching it. Worse, the longer it sits, especially refrigerated, the more firmly it attaches. Re-rinsing that old bagged salad barely helps. So what does work? The oocyst can withstand chlorine, refrigeration, even weeks out in the environment. The one thing that reliably kills it is heat, cooking. So, cook what you can, watch for recalls, and if the diarrhea keeps relapsing more than a few days, see a doctor rather than waiting it out.